Tyler from Aspire Sports, and in today's video, I'm going to give you my top 12 running back rankings for the 2021 fantasy football season. Starting today until basically the season's over, we're going to be releasing new videos every single day. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all of our latest content. That will help you win your fantasy football leagues. With draft season coming very quickly here, I mean, a lot of people are drafting now, but really once we hit August is when a lot of people start their drafts. So right here is our Discord. If you want to sign up for a Discord, totally free, I would highly suggest signing up, getting in our Discord, because we will answer any question. Anytime you have a question, there's usually always somebody on. So you have a question, you're not sure if you should draft this guy or this guy, post a question, we'll help you out. Week 1 of the fantasy football season, you're not sure if you should start this person or this person at the flex position, ask your questions here. So I'm going to put the link down in the description below. Go ahead, sign up, totally free. We'll help you out. With that being said, let's get into the video. Coming in at number 1 is going to be Christian McCaffrey. Yes, I know he burned some people last year. The injuries might scare some people off, but if he plays a full season, he will be RB number 1. Last year in the limited games that he played in, he was averaging 27 points per game. The year prior, when he had 400 fantasy points, he was averaging 25 fantasy points per game. There's nobody close, okay? When he's healthy, he is the guy in fantasy football. Now, in college, one of the knocks was he filled out his frame, and they weren't sure he was going to be able to withstand a full NFL workload. Now, maybe you're in the crowd that doesn't think he can. Then sure, if you want to go Dalvin Cook or somebody else at number 1, go for it. But if he plays a full season, he will be RB number 1, and that's why he's the first running back off the board for me. Coming in at RB number 2 for me is going to be Dalvin Cook, and I feel like there's basically a unanimous 1 and 2. Like, these two guys are basically your 1 and 2 guys off the board currently. Dalvin Cook, I don't need to say a whole bunch about him. He's so explosive. He's so dynamic. One of the best running backs in the NFL, is able to pick up yards in chunks. Just so good, and plays on a team that likes to run the football. The only reason why I don't place him above Christian McCaffrey is just because his work in the passing game. He sees enough work, really good work for a running back, but not as much as Christian McCaffrey is going to see. But still plays on a very good team, a team that likes to run the football. So no brainer. Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook are going to be like the unanimous 1 and 2 this year. So Dalvin Cook, my number 2. Coming in at RB number 3 is going to be Alvin Kamara. Now, this is where things are going to start to get a little bit different. Some experts have him ranked a little bit lower. To me, I've seen him go in the 6 range, RB number 6, and that's crazy. Some people might be a little bit scared of the situation that's going in New Orleans. You have Jameis Winston. To me, Jameis Winston helps this offense more than it hurts it. Sure, maybe he might throw some interceptions. I don't care. He's still going to target Alvin Kamara because Alvin Kamara is one of the best, if not the best, receiving backs in the NFL. So it's not like he's just not going to throw him the ball. In the very, very limited time that Jameis Winston played last year, that half, right, he threw the ball 10 times. Out of those 10 throws, he targeted Alvin Kamara 4 times. I'm not worried about Alvin Kamara at all, especially in a full-point PPR league. Yes, 100% I'm taking him at number 3. If you want to take like Derrick Henry, go for it. But for me, Alvin Kamara, I am not worried whatsoever about the New Orleans offense. I like it a lot this year, and Alvin Kamara is going to be the focal point of that offense. So Alvin Kamara, number 3. Coming in at RB number 4 is going to be Ezekiel Elliott. Now, I can hear the boos already. A lot of people probably don't like this. At number 4, like I've seen him ranked as RB number 9. I've already talked about in this video above. I love Zeke. Last year, everything that could go wrong for Dallas went wrong. In PPR leagues, a full-point PPR league, he still finishes RB number 9. Right now, that's basically where you're getting him, as RB number 9. That's his floor, okay? Every single year, he's been top 5 in terms of fantasy points per game, okay? Top 5 at the running back position. Last year was the first year. Basically, his whole offensive line's hurt. Dak's hurt. Prior to Dak getting hurt, he was RB number 4 in points per game and was on pace to have the most receptions, most targets of his career. I love Zeke. I'm not worried about this. As long as Dak is healthy, Zeke is going to be back and he's going to be so good, and he's getting him. You're getting him at a very good value. So Zeke for me right now, if it's not Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey there, I'm taking Zeke. Zeke, number 4. Coming in at RB number 5 is going to be Derrick Henry. You know what you're getting out of Derrick Henry every single week. It's going to be 20-plus touches, maybe a touchdown. Maybe it's not the most efficient some weeks, but then other weeks goes for 200-plus yards, right? Derrick Henry, why I have him at number 5 and not higher is because I kind of talked about in this video above. No running back in the past decade has touched the ball 300-plus times, 300-plus carries, 3 consecutive years in a row. Derrick Henry would be the first one to do that this year if he gets 300-plus carries. I'm just somebody who I believe history repeats itself, so I'm a little bit down on him than others, but he's still at number 5, right? I mean, that's not much. I'm not much lower than other people out there. I've seen him at number 3. I like him here at number 5. I'd rather take these guys in front of him. Derrick Henry, though, absolute stud. So number 5, Derrick Henry. Coming in at number 6 for me is going to be Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley was ahead of Derrick Henry for me, but with this recent news coming out that he can't guarantee he'll be ready for week 1, has me a little concerned. A player knows their body best, and if he doesn't feel like he's going to be ready, you have to keep close attention to what's going on in the preseason, see how he's doing, because if he's not ready for week 1, that's a little nerve-wracking for somebody that's going to be a borderline top 5 pick. He's going to probably drop a little bit, and how does that fare for the ongoing season? Saquon, number 6. Coming in at number 7 is going to be Nick Chubb. I say this all the time, and I'll say it again. Nick Chubb is the best pure running back in the NFL in terms of running the football. The best running back. I'll take him over Derrick Henry, take him over everybody. These are the stats over the past 2 years. So last year, 2019, Nick Chubb was 9th in yards per attempt, 3rd in yards after contact, 5th in elusive rating, 6th in breakaway percentage. In 2020, he was 1st in yards after contact, 3rd in breakaway percentage, 3rd in yards per attempt, and 1st in elusive rating. 40 points better than the closest player. Nick Chubb is an animal. He plays on one of the best, if not the best, of offensive lines in the league. Plays behind one of the best offensive lines in the league in terms of run blocking. Plays on a team that upgraded their defense. This team is going to be very good. The Browns are going to be very good this season. So you have a player, a running back, that's going to play on a very good team. That's a run-first team. Yes, he's going to be very good this season. And if it wasn't for Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb for me would be a top 3 guy. 100%. But the fact that Kareem Hunt's going to take some workload, passing game work, also going to steal some work around the goal line, it has Nick Chubb a little bit later. But if he wasn't there, he would be a top 3 back. 100%. I would honestly consider taking him as the number 1 back because that's how good Nick Chubb is. Love Nick Chubb. So Nick Chubb for me, number 7. Coming in at RB number 8 for me is going to be Cam Akers. Cam Akers last year from week 12 onward dominated the backfield for the Los Angeles Rams. Now, maybe you think it's a little bit too early. If you know me, I'm a big fanboy of Cam Akers. Love Cam Akers this upcoming season because basically what he did in the playoffs. When the game's on the line, they turned to Cam Akers. He was their guy, especially in the divisional round where he played 90% of the snaps. I love Cam Akers. I think that Cam Akers is going to be the back in this backfield this upcoming season. It's going to basically be a 3-down back. Like Sean McVay has already talked about, he says that he sees Cam Akers. And yes, there's been years in the past where Sean McVay has been kind of like Bill Belichick in terms of the backfield, who's going to get the touches. But Cam Akers was considered one of the best running backs in this draft class last year, and they drafted him in the 2nd round. So there's high hopes here for Cam Akers. He really impressed last season, and this offense flows through the running backs. Todd Gurley in the past decade is the only running back to finish as RB number 1 2 years in a row. Now, I'm not saying that Cam Akers is going to finish as RB number 1, but I do believe he's going to outperform his ADP currently. So that's why I have Cam Akers as RB number 8. Coming in at RB number 9 is going to be Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor last year, towards the end of last year, was an absolute stud, right? But if you look at the competition of the teams that he was playing against, right? Green Bay giving up a lot of points to running back position. Houston twice were the worst team against running backs. Las Vegas was awful. Pittsburgh, at that time, they weren't playing very good football. And then Jacksonville. Like, those are pretty bad teams, and he absolutely dominated against those teams, right? I'm not saying he can't do that again, 100%. But it's just that sample size, for me, I believe there's regression there because those teams were very bad, and I think that there's going to be a little bit of regression. So that's why I have him currently ranked as RB number 9. And then you also have Carson Wentz. Is Carson Wentz truly an upgrade over Philip Rivers? Carson Wentz was awful last year, and everybody just thinks that Frank Wright is going to be able to fix Carson Wentz. I'd like to see that before it happens. To me, Jonathan Taylor, though, is definitely still an RB number 1. And if you want to draft him higher, go for it. For me, I just like these other guys a little bit more than him. So that's why Jonathan Taylor is currently RB number 9. Coming in at RB number 10 for me is going to be Najee Harris. And yes, I'm a Steelers fan, so maybe I'm a little bit biased. But volume is king in fantasy football. And Najee Harris landed in the perfect spot in terms of fantasy football production in Pittsburgh. He's never going to come off the field. If we go back and look at some past years for Pittsburgh, right? We go back and look at 2018 with James Conner. He only played 13 games that year because he ended up getting hurt. But in those 13 games, he still played on 64% of the team snaps for the season, right? So when he was playing, he never came off the field. Go back and look at 2017 with Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell played 88% of the team snaps that season. Let's go back and look at 2016, where Le'Veon Bell played 71% while missing a game. So that's missing a game. He played on 71% of the team snaps. If you go back and look at 2015, Le'Veon Bell missed a lot of time due to injury. So you have DeAngelo Williams. DeAngelo Williams was towards the end of his career at that point and played on 60% of the snaps that season. 60% of the snaps, even though Le'Veon Bell played for I think 4 games that season, DeAngelo Williams was still able to play 60% of the snaps that year. So he's never going to come off the field in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin has always liked one running back. I'm not worried about any of those other running backs. Believe me, there's nothing for Najee Harris to worry about. He's going to be the bell cow on offense, going to see plenty of receiving work, is going to really be their guy between the tackles. So that's why I love Najee Harris. He's an absolute RB number 1 for me, just purely based upon his volume that he's going to see. So Najee Harris, number 10. Coming in at RB number 11 is going to be Aaron Jones. This feels way too low for Aaron Jones as well, but the only reason why he's this low for me currently is because what happens with Aaron Rodgers? Is Aaron Rodgers actually going to play this season? I believe he is, but I also thought Le'Veon Bell was going to come back. I didn't think that the Eagles had any chance of trading Carson Wentz, and all these things happened. So I think he's going to play, but there's that real possibility he just opts out. So we'll see what happens. And if he doesn't play, then no, I don't like Aaron Jones. I like him here, and I don't like him any higher. If Aaron Rodgers does play, Aaron Jones for me flies up the board, and he's honestly RB number 5 for me. But right now, in this time, if you have a draft, you have to decide yourself. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to play this season or not? And if he doesn't, do you like Jordan Love? I didn't like Jordan Love that much as a prospect coming out of college. So that's why I don't like Aaron Jones that much in this offense, because Aaron Rodgers to me is the best quarterback to ever play in terms of talent. I know Tom Brady is the GOAT. He's the best, most decorated quarterback. But if you're looking at just pure God-given talent, Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback to ever play. That's why I don't like this offense nearly as much as if Aaron Rodgers does not play. So Aaron Jones for me right now, that's why I have him at 11. There's a real chance that Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, and I don't like that. So Aaron Jones for me is number 11. Coming in at RB number 12 for me is going to be Joe Mixon, and I am ready to be hurt again. Last year, I was a big fanboy of Joe Mixon as well. Didn't work out. Now, granted, he did get hurt, okay? He did get hurt, and at that time, he was second in the NFL in terms of touches at the running back position. So this is somebody that, yes, they've already said he's going to see a massive workload for this season. And I do believe that he's going to see that. It's just a matter if he can stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, he's going to be, once again, like Najee Harris, volume is king. He's going to see a massive workload. There's no more Giovanni Bernard back there as well. So he's going to, right now I have him projected to play a lot of the third downs for this team, which is really going to help in terms of fantasy football. So I like Joe Mixon a lot. If you're somebody that maybe you're burned from him last year and you're not buying in, hey, I don't blame you. But this season, I think this is going to be the year. I said it last year too. I thought it was going to be the year. It didn't end up being the year, but this is going to be the year. Okay? If not now, then when? And next year I'll probably buy in again if it's not. But this year I'm buying in again. Joe Mixon, top 12 guy. And that does it for today's video. If you like this content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Really appreciate it. I'm going to be releasing the 13 through 24 running backs, so make sure you check that video out as well. And there's just going to be a bunch of videos, how to play fantasy football, tips to help you be a better drafter for fantasy football. We have a ton of stuff planned out, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day.